Okay. So thank you all for joining us. We are very excited for this weekend. Third Shepperton taking place. It's always the best way to start the season for us for our events. It's just such an incredible location, and it's always got such a buzzy atmosphere. Definitely starts the summer off on a high for us. And this year is incredible. You guys have been doing some phenomenal work. The fundraising is at 68,000 already. I don't think we've ever seen this success with the 24-hour relay at Shepperton. It's really appreciated. It's going to allow us to do some special things over the next couple of years at Level Water. So thank you all very much. I'm just going to run through the team. Mark and Jerry are here as well. And just a little intro from all of us. Mark's going to be there at the weekend working, and Jerry's swimming. She's doing the 24-hour relay. I'm going to try and pop along Sunday morning and say hi to you all as well, because it'd be nice to put names to faces and also to say hi to some familiar faces as well. So I'm Colette. I'm the community manager or the fundraising manager at Level Water. I've been here for, God, I think 8 years now. It's my job mainly is looking after you guys, looking after the events, promoting the events, sending the communications out, and making sure that we get this amazing amount of fundraising in to allow our program side to run, which is where we sort of teach the children with disability to swim all over the UK and launch some new initiatives. Now, thanks to fundraisers like you, we're able to branch out to several different disabilities and start teaching a lot of children around the country, which is a big milestone for us. It's something we've always wanted to achieve, and we're getting really close to it. So hopefully that'll be nationwide soon. I'm going to pass over to Mark, if you'd like to intro yourself, Mark.
Hello, everybody. I've been here 5 or 6 years now at Level Water. Very excitedly set up the 24s a few years back. I don't know how many of you here were at the first Shepperton or have been at one of the Shepperton events. I see a couple of smiles, but it's going from strength to strength, and it's quickly becoming one of our most iconic events. And we're expecting to raise sort of upwards of £100,000 this year. And when you think about a single lesson costs around £15 to teach a disabled kid to swim, it's a significant difference we're all making together. So I'm really looking forward to being there with you this weekend. We've got a good 24 hours to get to know each other, have some fun, and do something great. So thank you all for signing up, and thank you all joining today. It's really exciting.
And over to Jerry.
Hello, I'm Jerry. I have been with Level Water a year and a half, and my job kind of exists as a testament to the success, really, of the charity, because I think the charity has doubled in size every year since its birth, actually. So we doubled the number of children that we've got swimming with us at Level Water from last year to this year. And we've almost doubled the number of people swimming our events as well. So I was brought on fairly recently just to kind of help keep things ticking along. So I kind of assist Colette with some fundraising bits, and I assist our event manager Katie with some other bits, and I do a lot of the kind of communications, and I look after our social media as well. So lots of the buttons that say contact on them will come through to me. So you might have you might have had an email from me somewhere along the road. Just really happy to be part of it. And remembering Shepperton last year, I just think we're really excited just to go back there and just to get started again. So look forward to meeting you.
Thank you, Jerry. A rough little order for this evening. We're going to just run through the briefing a little bit, just sort of, summarise a few points, as we've received a few questions from people and they're kind of along the similar line. So just to give an overview of that, some timings for the weekend, just to sort of get your head around. And then after that, we've received a couple of questions from captains that aren't here. So I'll run through that. And then at the end of that, if anyone wants to ask any further questions, just pop your hand up and we'll sort of come to you. And hopefully we'll cover anything. And if not, just let us know at the end or drop us a message in the chat and we can definitely talk about it here. I'd like to I think, Mark, are you going to run through some of the briefing for us with the timings?
Yeah, so we'll do a briefing on the day. Colette sent out in the captain's group a link to the briefing that I will run through. So please have a read of that, because I'm not going to go through it on the day in great detail. please send it out. And if there's anything in there that you're not sure of, then come and chat to us on the day. There are a few bits that we have learned over the years that we need to make triply clear to people to help make the day run as smoothly as possible for you, for us, and to make sure everyone is safe and happy. Timings. So we will start dead on midday. The earlier you can get there from 8 a.m, the better to get set up. Not everyone has to be there, just the first few people, but you will come in and get your camping spot. We cannot mark out camping space because people bring all sorts of different things. So you will just come, if you want to camp with your team, try and all arrive at the same time, because we will not be able to secure space. We can't reserve spaces for people if you're waiting. We have to fill up as we go. Otherwise, it just turns into absolute chaos. It will be chaos regardless, but we will try and make it the easiest chaos that we possibly can. You can drive straight in, you can drop your stuff off, and then drive to the car park. We need to get the cars moving and off the site basically as quickly as possible. So when you get there, unload the car in the camping area, drive back down, we'll guide you, we'll get it all done. If we think you're taking up too much space, we will move you. We've got nearly 500 people there this year. We had 350 last year and we were pretty full. So please just, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for everyone. And this bit sounds really rude, but I'll say it, it's not about you, it's about everybody. If you're coming along trying to take up too much space, too big a tent, it's going to upset other people. So it's please just sort of just trust us that we know how we need it to be set up and what we're doing, and work with us on that. Tent size is really, really important. It's really difficult to say what the rules are here. I've said various years, no more than 2 4-man tents if you're a team of 8, and 1 6-man tent if you're a blah, blah, blah. Just don't be stupid with it. We had in the first year, and I do apologize if you're in this group, there was a team of 4 and they bought 2 8-man tents and a 3x3 gazebo, and were very upset when I asked them to take 2 of them down. You don't need that much space. You don't need a tent each. You don't need a sleeping bag each. You're not all going to be sleeping at the same time. Please try and pack as light as possible, because if there isn't enough space, it's not enjoyable for a lot of people. So we will be quite strict with it. It's not many things we will be strict with over the weekend, and I know I'm probably coming across as quite strict, but that's the one that can cause issues. It can cause fire hazards. And it just means it's unenjoyable for a lot of people. So please really think about that and just consider what you're bringing, and is it essential. We don't bring a lot. We don't provide refreshments or food. It's very much you bring your own. So make sure you're bringing your own food and drink. No fires, open fires, but the gas stoves are fine. That's not a problem at all. We are expecting the lake to be colder than it has been in previous years, and maybe colder for this time of year. And many people like to swim in skins. We trust people, they know what they're doing. So but we are expecting the water to be colder. And we learned from Lake 32, our event last year that we did in September, that a lot of people who were used to swimming in skins really struggled with staying in for the hour because the water was a bit colder than they expected. So please, if you are a skin swimmer, bring a wetsuit if you've got one, because it wouldn't be great if you had to get out because you're a bit too cold, and if you had a wetsuit you could carry on. So do consider bringing a wetsuit just in case it is a bit too cold for you. It's not wimping out if you suddenly decide you want to put a wetsuit on, which means you can carry on doing the swim. So yeah, that's quite an important one we learned last year from a lot of people coming out. Yada yada yada. Just seeing what else needs to be said. The way it works with the hourly changeover. So the reason we do an hourly stint is so we know exactly who's in the water at any one time. We check in your team name and we check out your team name. And we do it by the hour, because if everyone's getting in and out all the time, it's impossible for us to manage. We always have to have someone there, and we lose people all the time. So what we'll do is to start at midday, you'll get in and swim. At 50 minutes past the hour, every hour, we will basically stop you starting a new lap around the lake. So it's a 400-meter loop. So if you get to the corner next to the entrance, at 10 to, we will start asking people to come out. So you might only be swimming for 50 minutes. You'll all then get out one by one, and you'll have a wristband, and you'll pass your wristband over to the next team member. This bit will make more sense when you're there. When it sounds complicated to say, when the last person of the previous stint has got past the first buoy, we'll then start letting the next group in. So there's a big enough gap so we know who the last person is. That will make sense when you're there, I trust me. So that's why we do the stints. We've got water safety the whole time. It's really easy for them to know exactly who's in, who's doing what. If you want to do more than 1 hour at a time, we will still ask you to get out and get back in. Just so we can check you out and then check you back in again. There are 5 people doing this solo. I don't know if any of you are here. I'd like you to make yourself. Oh, there's Helen. So waving in the middle. Helen did it solo last year. So any questions for that, then we direct you straight to her. We'll do the same thing. At the end, you don't have to get out, because if you're doing it solo, you might not want to get out of the lake, but we will ask you to just wait until the next group starts. So that bit's really important. So the hourly things will go out through the night. It's a really lovely time where lots of people come and cheer and celebrate as we're in and out. But it's the only important bit that we do around safety, really, is just to make sure we know who's where, who's doing what, and everyone's safe. So we'll very quickly become accustomed to how that works. And then at night, yes, we need lights on you. We need a tow float with a light in and a light on your goggles. They have to be static. The front one has to be white and the back one has to be a different color. That's so we know which direction you're swimming in. If you're swimming off track, we know which way you are going. The reason they need to be static is because the buoys that we put out, we put flashing lights on. And if everyone's flashing, you've got no idea where you're going. And so, yeah, just make sure those lights are static, and we'll let you know during the day when you need to have a tow float and lights. It's basically sunset and sunrise. I suppose the most important thing, just to be really clear, telling everybody, and we say this regularly, and you'll hear me say it on the day, you'll hear it all weekend, is this isn't a competition. This isn't a race. Some people will take it seriously and try and do a certain number of laps, and that's absolutely fine. But for the majority, we will, and then for those people, we'll ask them to be very sort of considerate. It's not a race and it's not a competition. I'll repeat that so many times, which means if you are too cold, and you want to get out. Nobody's going to be bothered. If you can't swim anymore, you want to change something. If you want to do 1 lap in the hour breaststroke chatting to people, do 1 hour breaststroke chatting to people. This is a team challenge. It's an endurance challenge. You're in it together, to support each other, support other people. People do get cold, and it will be up to you in the lake to just look out for other swimmers as well, and just make sure that nobody's doing anything that they shouldn't be doing. We will be there. Come and talk to us if there's anything that you want to talk about. But yeah, it's a really fun, relaxed event, and we do very little other than just make sure that the water is safe for you. We want you to come on and create this, and for this to be whatever you want it to be. And that's hopefully what we're there to do. Someone just said about skin swimmers. You only need to, there's a form that has been sent out, I believe. We will send it again. If you want to swim skins at night, let's just put it in the chat there. If you want to swim skins at night, we just need you to say, just sign a document. It's not proof or anything. It's just for our insurance to say that you have said that you are comfortable swimming at night. And I think that's probably it in terms of the briefing stuff. Timings and the tent. It's just the morning is busy. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of volunteers trying to help us out. There's lots of people trying to put up tents and park their car and come back, and people wanting to pitch together and stuff. We will try and be as calm as we can, and hopefully, if you can be as well, that then we'll all get to a place where it's great, but it's good fun. And then with the registration, another good thing to note is when you turn up, you don't all need to register straight away. There's 500 people. You don't all need to come and register, just the first swimmer, because the next person can register the next hour, the next person can register the next hour. So just to keep it calmer, the first swimmer needs to register. And then we will, hopefully that will move quite quickly. And then again, with the first swimmer, make sure they're ready and to swim in their wetsuit, whatever, for the briefing, because we'll do the briefing and then send them straight off. So first swimmer ready for the briefing, and then we'll send them off. Is it one of the get swims into the water at the changeover if they're waiting, so they don't get cold waiting? Yeah, we'll try. Someone just asked is it possible to prioritize skin swimmers into the water at the changeovers. You can just go to the front. We'll get, if you're a skin swimmer, get there early, get there last, but then just get to the front, and we'll get you in as quickly as we can. That's a good question. And then Colette's just put in the swimmer hub there again. So if you've got any questions for this kind of stuff, have a look at the swimmer hub, and it should be in there. And I think that's probably it from me. Is there any more questions? Here we go. Yes, so switching lights and tow floats between swimmers, absolutely. People do that all the time. You don't need 8 tow floats and 16 lights per team. So maybe 1 or 2, but yeah, of course you can change over. Gerald, you're a solo as well. Yes, you can keep food and drink at the start point. I think now we've got 5 people doing it, and we'll create a little area. We have a medic on site as well. So at the end, after each of your hours, for the people who we are we don't want to call you high risk, but you could be getting cold without knowing it and stuff. So they will check on you every now and again. So at the end of each hour, especially throughout the night, they'll just be there on the water's edge every time, just checking you're okay, asking you certain questions to make sure you're still with it. So yeah, Gerald, we'll make some space for you. We'll sort out on the day. We'll make sure they've got. If you've got someone coming with you, I think that would be useful for them. Make them aware to us, and then they can look after stuff, and we can make sure they've got everything you need. So yes, so Kirst asked, are we going to be able to swim as a group if we want for 1 lap at the start of the last hour? Yes, we were just talking about that today. So the last hour, we basically allow you to get in with your team all together and swim together. You can stay for the whole hour. You can do 1 lap. You can do just the last lap. But we have to be very careful checking people in and out. So we'll check you all in, check you out. And it's very clear that, once you're in, you're in. Once you're out, you're out. It's not, don't keep getting in and out. But absolutely, that was a wonderful thing that we added about an hour before last year. And it was really nice. So yeah, absolutely. The camper vans are parked in the car park. There's not enough space. In year 1, we had them with the tents. Camper vans, so as you come into the main car park, you'll be parked along there, which is a bit of a walk, but there's nowhere else for you to go. And the issue with the camper vans a lot is, I have one as well, is they take up a lot of space. So we park all the camper vans in the car park, and then it's just a little bit of a walk over. But we did it last year, and it was totally fine.
Just to add to that, there will be people in the accessible camping area who can bring their vehicles in, and those are people with accessibility needs, so they will need their vehicles, but everybody else will have to stay in the car park with the camper vans. So if you do see a few vehicles come in, they need to be there.
Yeah. Great. Well, if there's anything else I can think that comes to my mind beforehand, I'll let you know. The fundraising is going really well. I think there's something ridiculous, like 60% of the money for these events normally comes in now until Monday. The first Shepperton, I think we did about 30 grand over the weekend. And so, yeah, please keep pushing that out, because we make the money from the fundraising for this, and we want to just do as much as we can. We'll keep giving you little nudges over the weekend as well. We'll keep you updated of how we're doing. But yeah, Just Giving pages set up and sent out to friends and family now is a great chance to boost some fundraising. Will there be urns with hot water? Yeah, we'll have hot water urns for the whole weekend running for you. There's some music playing. We'll have what else? All sorts of things going on probably. Great. Yeah, well, keep putting your questions in. I'll keep running through them, and then maybe I'll do it when Colette's finished. I'll do another little run through.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mark. I'm just going to keep putting your questions in. I'm just going to talk a little bit about accessibility and then the fundraising, and then we can come back to you guys. If there is anyone on your team that has an accessibility requirement, please get in touch. I'll pop mine and Jerry's email in the chat at the very end, and also the WhatsApp number. We have set up a committee this year, an Events Access Advisory Committee, to look at all of our events to ensure they are accessible. We provide swimming for children with disabilities at the UK. We need to ensure our events are accessible for adults and children if they want to swim. There is a different entry point at Shepperton. If you require a drop-off rather than a beach entry, this can be shown to you. And there'll be other tweaks that we've made around the site just to ensure that we're trying to be as accessible as possible. If something doesn't work for you, please come and find us and have a chat. If there is anyone on your team that you are aware of that has a certain requirement or is just feeling a little bit nervous, please ask them to get in touch and chat to Jerry or myself, and we can talk things through. And if something hasn't been thought of, we can implement it. Absolutely. So yeah, we want to look after everyone and make sure you have the best weekend. In terms of fundraising, as Mark said, like, you guys are absolutely incredible, just doing amazing. One thing Jerry's actually found out, because she's swimming and she's fundraising for this event, she recently did a WhatsApp broadcast. So it's where you just draft a message and you send it to selected contacts in your address. But what it does is it sends the message individually. So rather than, I know we all have these groups that we're in and there's always like notifications going off and you probably mute it just to get a bit of peace. This message comes through individually. So you're kind of reaching out to people in one go, but you're doing it in a kind of personal way. And it generates quite a great response. I think Just Giving have noted that giving through WhatsApp is one of the highest mediums that people use for fundraising. So it really works. You can send over the videos that we send you, any of the reels from our Instagram. We'll pop a few things out this week to sort of get you going, because as Mark said, this is the week where people seem to be sort of focusing on what you are doing and the challenge that you are taking on. So share that with them, let them know how you're feeling. Send a video about, the anticipation you might have or the excitement, and definitely over the weekend, keep sharing it over socials and sending updates to your network, because people love to hear from you and people also like to support a cause. And this cause seems to sit really well with swimmers. You guys just really get what we're doing. And it's quite amazing seeing the result of it. Any other things I'll pop into? I think we've sort of said quite a few things to you guys, just keeping in contact, share your Just Giving URL everywhere, pop it onto the bottom of your email signature this week, maybe send a little email out if you work with people, put it onto WhatsApp on your social, on Instagram and Facebook if you have it. And also face-to-face conversations, they work amazing because people can really see the excitement or the feelings in your face when you're chatting to them. So don't be afraid to talk about it and push yourself a little bit, like, this is a big week for you all, and you should share it with people and let them know what you're doing and why you're doing it, because that's also pretty incredible. I don't know if you guys have any fundraising questions or anything else on the event. If you want to pop your hand off or take yourself off mute and ask anything.
There's a question in there about refreshment van. Yes, there is a refreshment van. Don't rely on it as a as a source of energy and food. They will do coffee and cakes and things, but the chances are they will run out, or they're not preparing enough for 500 people. It's gonna be there. We don't normally tell people there will be a refreshment van, just because then people rely on it, and if they run out, then you're just prepared for it not to be there. But yeah, they will try and run throughout the night, so there'll be bits and pieces. Great.
Nice. I think Elaine's put a nice little tip in there to thank people who donate. It encourages others. It's definitely a great idea. And it doesn't take much, does it? Like a little email or a little message, even a phone call if you're up for it, just letting people know. Yes, good question, Claire. What happens if you don't achieve the £200 target? Absolutely nothing. We're not going to come after you and make you pay. We're not going to reprimand you or stop you swimming. Everyone has different networks. Everyone has different levels of accessibility to people they can ask to donate. It's just do your best, use the tools we're giving you, and just put it out there and see where you get to. And yeah, don't be afraid to push it out there. It's absolutely... You tell us you'll get reprimanded.
Well, we also see a lot of revenue come in over the weekend, don't we? Because like while people are actually swimming, we'll have a whiteboard where we can update you and we'll see that number climbing. So, you know, the donations keep coming in even while the event's happening, and they keep coming in for a few days after, you know, and then some people reach out to their place of work and get their fundraising increased by, corporate donations as well. So, if we were to take people's swim tickets away, who knows, they might even double their target, by actually just, showing up. So some people are late to the party, but we hope everyone gets there eventually.
Sorry, I've got a question. It's Joanna from Team TBG. If we've got a team member in reserve, just in case someone can't do the full 3 laps, etc., or something happens, etc. I know there is a little description how that person can register, but just to confirm, can this person register during the event, even if it's, let's say, just an hour before the other person meant to go in? And does that mean that the team can remain 8+1 in reserve, or the other person, let's say one person can do all 3 but wants to do 2? Does that mean that the team will then become 9, or once they're out, they're out?
No, you do whatever you need to do. If someone wants to come and be reserved, they can register 5 minutes before they go in. Yeah, we're not going to restrict anything in that sense. So yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
You need to do.
Thank you.
You did just make me think about spectators as well. Spectators can come along. They have to park in the main car park. Do please ask them not to drive down into the camping area, because we will turn them away. We ask all spectators to be off-site at sunset, and they're allowed back on at sunrise. We can't manage that many people at night. It's just not possible. And if there's loads of spectators and kids around, it means people are trying to sleep at all hours, and it just becomes quite chaotic. So if you've got any spectators, that we will ask them to leave at sunset, but they can return at sunrise. Anything else? I've got a little story to finish on, unless there's any more questions.
Someone's asked about the badges in there.
Yes,
Yes,
you'll get
we have badges. We have badges. I don't have them here to show you, but they are lovely.
Yeah, they're great. I'm an adult, but I do love the badges. Yeah, I've got one here. Is it okay if one member from one team covers for an hour and the other team? Absolutely. As long as people are registered, you do what you need to do. We're not going to keep track of who's swimming for what and who's done how many hours. You let us know, you do what you need to do, and we'll make it happen. Is there restrictions on types of insects repellent? Maybe that's something we should ask the lake on Saturday. It hasn't come up before. It's not something we've ever thought about, but yeah, let's have a chat with the lake, and we'll let you know if that's okay. Our swim hat's compulsory as well as toe floats. We will give you a swim hat, level water swim hat, when you register, which you have to wear. We ask you to wear the level water one, so it's very easy for this water safety crew. I understand some people have allergies and to sort of swim hats and stuff. So just come and chat to us on the day if you've got any concerns about the swim hats and stuff. How many toilets are there? Enough. we didn't in the first year, and we will never make that same mistake again. Yes, there are many toilets, accessible toilets, and normal toilets as well. And there's showers there, but they're outdoor showers. There's no changing facilities, but we will have a couple of marquees up that we might use for changing if people want it.
A couple more questions, Mark, that I'm just going to run through. Someone sent them in. One of them was toilets. Another one, are dogs allowed? They are allowed.
On leads.
One was about on leads, yes, under control, please. If you've got a beagle like me, he would just be in all the tents eating all the food. Someone's asked about lights. So not everyone wears goggles. Is it possible to wear a torch instead of a light that clips on to the back? So I don't know about you, Mark. I'm assuming yes, as long as you switch it round.
Yeah, it's just about knowing where your front and back is. So yeah, that's absolutely fine. Whatever you need to do.
Awesome. I think that's it from me. I don't know if there's a few more in the chat.
So there's no, the whole team don't need to be there at the start. That's an important one. We had somebody who turned up at 7 a.m. after they'd been out all night to do their hour, 7 till 8, last year, which was quite fun. So yeah, no, not all the team need to be there registered. Just the first person needs to be there to register. at midday. And there's loads of drinking water. We'll have water dotted around in big urns, and there's a drinking water tap on site as well. And I'll make all that really clear to you during the briefing on Saturday.
Any other questions, or should Mark tell us his story?
Yeah, look, we message Claire or Jerry if you've got any questions. They do come up as and when, so yeah, just ask away. So just a little story. This is on our website. I was chatting to a mother of one of the children that we teach to swim the other day, and we were emailing about something. And what was quite funny about her response was we were talking about something, and this response was actually quite a passive aggressive response to something that I was talking to her about. And I said to her, this is the best response I think I've ever received from any email, because it instantly stopped me in my tracks and just made me look at things completely differently in terms of how important swimming is and how important it is that, or how unimportant other things are. And then she wrote me this email, and I just wanted to read it out to you because it gives you a really good idea of why we do what we do and why we're going to come and run this event, and hopefully you're going to enjoy it and raise loads of money. So this is about a kid called Gil, and she said, Level Water took away the gloom and life-changing misery of our son's disability and diagnosis. They reminded us that he is a little boy who can have lots of amazing adventures and try things we never would have dared, like the Bantam Swoosh or the triathlon. Now he's a club swimmer and a rising star, a potential Paralympian. What's more, they found us at a time when milestones at school were not being met. Walking had been a struggle, and we were really feeling the weight of the restrictions he would have in life. Now we have hope, and he feels like an athlete and struts around with his medals. He's grown in confidence and ability and trains 3 times a week and competes with a swim club. Our son is told he can be a para-county swimmer next year at just 10 years old. From his perspective, someone believed in him and told him he was more than his disability and focused on who he could be. He says he was like a snail on land but a shark in water. Level Water rescued my son from mainstream coaching, where they held him back because he could not do the strokes the right way. They made him swim with 3-year-olds because he couldn't tick the boxes. Level Water unlocked that potential for him, and with a little patience and adjustment of teaching style, they found that inner shark and showed him the sea. This is the power of swimming, the power of Level Water, the power of swimming. And yeah, we keep saying that to everybody because that is just one of the most powerful ways to sort of say how important it is that the money you raise is going to such amazing things, and we're doing such amazing things, the amazing things that you are doing. I'll put the link to that in the story, so if you want to share that in your WhatsApp groups to push some fundraising, stick it on your Just Giving page, whatever you want to do with that, then please do, please share. It's a beautiful story. So yeah, thank you so much everybody, and I cannot wait to see you all at the weekend.
Thank you all so much for your time. Any questions, drop us an email or a WhatsApp, and yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you all at the weekend. And I'll circulate this link for the recording in the group probably tomorrow. I'll just have a little check through it. Have a lovely evening all. Bye bye.
Everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.